This video is about the tile map of a level in the original System Shock. I will describe what types of tiles there are and how height is determined. In essence, it is about how to create rooms and corridors in a level. For this, I'm using the tools from the deck package of InkyBlackness in version 0.8.0. Future releases might have a different interface, yet the concept remains the same. I'm using the game editor Shocked client, which I have pointed to my resource directories of my CD-ROM release, using the empty archive I created in the previous video. In the level control mode, I select level 1. This is the level in which new games start. Switching to the level map mode, we can see the single tile that Construct left us with. This tile is the hard-coded location for the hacker, 30 by 22. Each level has a size of 64 by 64 tiles, which are counted starting with the number 0 from west to east in the horizontal direction and from south to north in the vertical direction. Nearly all tiles here are solid tiles. They cannot be entered. As mentioned in the previous video, the outermost tiles of a level must remain solid. Graphical errors and/or engine crashes will happen otherwise. The starting tile is an open tile. Open tiles have a flat floor and a flat ceiling. The heights of the floor and of the ceiling are determined by the respective height fields. Height values range from 0 at the lowest to 31 at the highest, but these numbers don't tell you how high a room is. At the moment, this starting tile has a floor height of 0 and the ceiling height of 31. When we have a quick look in the game, this means the tile is 4 tile widths high, or 4 cubes stacked if you will. Yet whether a value of 31 means a 4 cube high room is actually dependent on another setting. Going back to the level control mode, there is a level global setting on the level height. Right now this is set to be 4 tiles. There are several options available, some of which don't make much sense though, like half a tile's width. Whatever the level height is, the range of the height values per tile, and for the objects later on, does not change. So the level height determines the step size of all height values. This is an important point. When creating an archive mod, be sure to settle on a height value for your level as early as possible. Changing it later on will require a redo of everything. To give you some reference, the vanilla game commonly uses a height value of 4 and sometimes 8. Cyberspace is typically 16 tiles high, as is the security level. With height clarified, I'll now move on to the other tile types. There are 4 further basic types which come in directed flavors. First off, we have the diagonal tiles. They are half open, half solid, in the shape of a triangle each when viewed from the top. Floor and ceiling are still flat. Which triangle is open is given away by their names. For instance, diagonal northeast has the north and east sides open. Next up we have slopes. Slopes have one side higher than the other, so they have an uphill floor. Their names are given in the uphill direction. For instance, slope east to west is a slope that has the western side higher than its east. The height or steepness of the slope is given with a separate property, again in the aforementioned height units. The final 2 types are valleys and ridges. Valley types have 3 corners higher than the 4th, whereas ridge tiles have 1 corner higher than the other 3. Again, their names give away the uphill direction, and the slope height property determines how steep they are. For all the slope tiles, you can control how the floor and how the ceiling looks separately. By default, the floor will look as just described, and the ceiling will be the inversion of the floor. Inversion means that at each point within the tile, the ceiling has the same distance from the floor. In other words, you could set the slope height of an inverted tile to its own height and seal it off as if it were a solid tile. Another setting is to have the ceiling mirror the floor. For example, a slope west to east will have its floor rise to the east and have its ceiling fall to the east. This is the same with valleys and ridges. Finally, either the ceiling or the floor could be said to be flat, so that just one surface is sloped. These are all the options available for tiles and level layout. I would also like to point out that there is no dedicated wall type in the tile structure. Walls come naturally by being constrained by solid sides of neighboring tiles, or by having the floor equal to or higher than a neighboring ceiling. To summarize, tiles come as solid, open diagonals, slopes, valleys and ridges. Height units are dependent on level height. The outermost tiles of a level must be solid, giving you an effective space of 62 by 62 tiles. Always keep a backup of your files, and don't forget to salt the fries.